But if I can offer a criticism, it's not so much about exclusively Brand New Day, but the direction movies have been going for quite a while. And that is that we don't have villains anymore. And because of that, we don't have heroes, but that's another conversation. Consider in Spider-Man, spoiler alert, that the villain is a terrible person. She's responsible for the deaths of who knows how many people, one rather graphic and in particular. And she's not a good person. Her plan is a bit convoluted and could have been resolved quite easily. But she does terrible things. And then when you get to the end of the story and you find out that it isn't that she's bad, she's misunderstood. And so we are to sympathize with the villain. Now, I'm all for adding complexity and nuance and depth to our characters, both heroes and villains. But there is a reason why in a predominantly Christian society, villains are bad and heroes are good. And so when you watch Brand New Day, you can almost see that Spider-Man does things that aren't ideal, but we understand him. Whereas the villain does bad things, and it isn't until we understand her, then we are sympathetic with her, and she's no longer a bad person. And we see this at a cultural level, where we struggle to say that this movement, or this individual, or these acts are categorically bad, and they ought to be condemned. Because what you will get in a post-Christian, highly feminized society is, well, I just need to understand their perspective. And so you have this duality where our villains aren't bad and our heroes aren't good. Consider, for example, how the villain is defeated in the end. They talk about their feelings. They discover who they are, and they discover that they're worth being loved and reconnecting. Rather than having a hero defeat the villain, they just come to an understanding. But in fact, although it's true that the villain isn't really villainous, there is a villain in the movie. And he disappears in the end, likely to set up a sequel or whatever in the Marvel Universe. And the villain is the system, the authority, the institution. And this is a rampant problem that we have, that people aren't bad, systems are bad. People are misunderstood, systems are corrupt. And so the system designed to address the problem in the movie that Spider-Man is prone to perhaps naively trust, they're really doing the bad experiments. They're doing the bad things. And certainly Christianity would recognize that sin is personal, it's relational, it is corporate, and it is social. It is all of those levels and beyond. And that's true because sin is theological. But in a post-Christian society, we can only see the evils of systems, but we cannot see that the people in those systems are equally wicked. And so our stories are missing something. And I would argue that what we're missing is the gospel, because the gospel of Jesus is the best story ever written, where the hero faces three villains: the world, the flesh, and the devil. And he sacrifices himself by overcoming them. And he, of course, isn't weak, but he must conquer the grave. He must crush the head of the serpent. He must sacrifice himself to save the wicked. We have a hero, and his name is Jesus. And one of the signs of a declining Christianity in the West is our stories can't seem to grasp what is truly good and what is truly evil. And the only way to restore that is to look at Christ, who suffers upon a wicked cross, under the weight of a wicked system, suffering the sins of wicked people. And he declares, "It is finished."